held in check on the ground, but gets a monstrous 58-yard receiving touchdown late, and Nebraska avoided catastrophe with the win. And with that, we say good evening. Welcome to Sports Center with Max Brodos. I'm Scott Van Pelt. We'll get you more of the Virginia Tech reaction as they go on the road and upset Ohio State, and the massive game out west where game day was in Eugene. An entertaining game there, but Max, really, the storyline of the day came a little earlier, involving Pac-12 rivals and their athletic director.
Pat Haden, great quarterback, college and pro, great businessman, he's a Rhodes Scholar, great everything. But he did something Saturday that some people may have viewed as not so great. Let's take you down on the site that was Leland Stanford Stock Farm in Palo Alto. Number 14, USC. Number 13, Stanford. A lot to talk about here. We pick things up in the third quarter. Andre Hadari from 25 yards to tie the game up. But Steve Sarkisian called for a delay of game. Sideline interference penalty. Coach Sark's reaction? No. I want to talk. It's called for 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty. Here's Pat Haden.
Well, I got a text just to come down because Sark wanted to talk to me, and he felt the penalty called on him was unfair, and the referee explained that he had warned him, so that's why he got the penalty. But it's been a really frustrating quarter with the penalties, believe me.
You can't be in the white on any play during the game. I was in the white on the field goal. At the time, I vehemently disagreed with the call, but by the letter of the law, I was incorrect. And I just didn't feel like I was in position to continue to discuss that with the officiating crew in risk of potentially getting a second penalty. So I just felt like I was better off having Pat kind of get in between, talk it through to make sure everybody understood what was going on and move on for it.
So Sarkisian apologizing for getting in the refs there, but more on what Pat Haden and his contribution coming out on the sideline to the fourth quarter, and this time Hadari, 13-10. He said there's nothing better feeling than that. Then ensuing Stanford drive. Stanford got 413 total yards, but the USC defense stiffened up late. The sack by J.R. Tavai. Now take a look at the Stanford O-line, and they cleared some space for Tavai. They gave him access to Hogan using the ESPN access. Stanford's offense a mess, committed 2 turnovers. They missed 2 field goals. Were awful inside the USC 35-yard line on 9 drives. Ended up with just 10 points. The reaction from Haden, Sarkisian, the USC bench. Huge road win. And the first Cardinal loss at home in 17, now 18 games. Now, it's an NCAA violation for there to be text communication from the press box and the team area, and that Haden told ESPN's Heather Cox that he got a text to come to the field. The text was not from Sarkisian. There is not a penalty for that violation. Reese, Mark, and Lou with their reaction.
I don't know if it's of much benefit to get caught up on what kind of rules violation it was. There's no penalty for it anyway. It was theater of the absurd. None of us have ever seen that, an athletic director come down to the field, and we really shouldn't see it again. Mark, the bigger problem to me is the perception it leaves for the College Football Playoff Selection Committee to have an AD, and there's several of them on that committee, come down and involve himself in a game like that.
It's just a bad look, particularly for the selection committee if you're an athletic director, and for the selection committee in their first year inaugural year of the College Football Playoff. If you're an administrator, particularly an athletic director like Pat Haden, if you've got a beef with the officiating crew, you do it at halftime. You do it after the game, but I've never, ever seen it done during a game, particularly a big game like this.
Well, the thing I look at, Pat Haden is a Rhodes Scholar. He has great character, integrity, outstanding person all his life. I've never seen a reason for an athletic director to come down on the field. And when I was coaching, I never thought about asking them to come down and talk to the official or anything else. If they did come down, I thought he'd probably want to call a player or defense. I cannot imagine why he came down.
And I agree. There was no reason for him to come down. He should have said, no, we'll handle that after the game if he was indeed asked to come down. There will be people, and there have already been some people who called for Pat Haden to step down from his position on the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. I don't agree with that. I think that's a little bit much. It certainly was an error in judgment. He doesn't talk about USC on that selection committee anyway. What do you think? Should he stay on the selection committee?
Absolutely. He's a man that's filled with nothing but integrity, and that's Pat Haden. And here's the other thing. For Pat, former player, here's a guy, he got emotional about the situation. So emotion took over, he apologized, he should apologize, and let's just move on.
Well, he is a competitor, being a quarterback, etc. I can understand it, but I still have never seen it before, but he should stay on the committee.
I think so too. Now, whether a sitting athletic director should be on the committee to begin with, that's an altogether different type of conversation, because there are several, and I'm sure that all of them learned a valuable lesson from Haden's error in judgment on Saturday.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, we may have opened up a can of worms. Pat Haden, the reaction immediate, whether what he did may question his objectivity as it applies to being on the playoff committee, but let's take a look at what Stanford failed to do inside the 35-yard line, a little bit closer, those 10 points on 9 drives. Let's also give some credit to Javorius Allen of the Trojans, a career-high 154 on the ground. And Cody Kessler had that big game against Fresno State a week ago. Didn't put up the numbers he did, but who cares? Big win for Troy.
Oh, man, I mean, this was amazing. You know, it was hands down the toughest game I've played in since, you know, I've been in college. You know, my hat's off to Stanford. They played a great game. That's one of the best defenses I've ever seen. It wasn't pretty, but, you know, these guys stuck together, worked hard, and our defense gave us a chance in the end, and Andre ended up kicking it in.
Unbelievable defense by both teams. I can't say enough about our guys. Just bend but don't break in the red zone. And it just kind of always comes down to the last series of the game, and our guys just did a great job executing.
The problem in the red zone right now is me. And I got to get back to work and make sure we're doing things that our guys can do and put them in positions to be successful. It's about going down there and executing our plays.
At its best,